Hello YouTube, what's going on? So this is my video addressing both the shooting in Las Vegas as well as gun legislation that has mysteriously come up. So as you all know and have heard by now, there was a shooting in Vegas, 58 killed, and then also the shooter killed himself from what we can tell, and over 500 injured. It looks like a bump stock was used. He was shooting from the 32nd floor down into a crowd of people at a country music festival. Jason Aldean was on the stage at the time, and the shooting went on, from what I could tell, for on and off for about 8 to 10 minutes. I was not able to calculate how many rounds he went through, as it was just going too fast. But if I had to sum it up, I would say probably anywhere from 500 to 800 rounds probably went off in that time frame, and that's a lot of rounds down range. And some of those he was trying to shoot at a fuel tank that was across the street at the airport, the McCarran Airport. I've been in that airport several times. I've been in Mandalay Bay several times, so I know that area pretty well. Anyway, as of right now, which is October 13th, Friday the 13th, 2017, they still have no true real motive as to why he did this. From the evidence and the information that I've gathered so far, is he was a retired gambler who enjoyed Vegas, was a pretty high roller. They call him a moderate, probably because he didn't drop millions, he dropped thousands. But more than your average person, I would say. He had sold some property. He had also retired from the post office and the IRS. I think he was an IRS agent first, then he went to work for the post office, and then he sold some property, retired, and had been spending his days gambling and hanging out with his girlfriend. So that's really all we know. There is something really fishy about what's going on here. I'm very surprised and almost pessimistic about the fact that they don't have a motive. I think they have a motive, and very high up people are trying to keep it quiet. Many of the mass shootings that have happened by registered Democrats, and not all, but many. And I think that following the Steve Scalise shooting, that the Democrat Party is not wanting his motive to come out, because it would be extremely damning that they are as unhinged, and because there's been buzz that he was affiliated with Antifa. There's some photos out there showing that maybe he was involved in the women's march. stuff like that. So I have this sinking feeling that the motive is political, and that there are people who don't want that getting out. Very powerful people that don't want that getting out. Because I think that if it was a conservative, it would be all over the news, it'd be all over the headlines, and it would be, you know, it would be nonstop. I mean, they're still talking about it mainly because they haven't found a motive, but it would be nonstop. So anyway, because of this, there is now legislation working its way through Congress, and there is a We the People petition at whitehouse.gov that says do not pass HR 3999, which basically is a very open-ended restriction on devices that change the rate of fire of a firearm. What their target is right now, and what they're saying their target is right now, is bump stocks, ghost triggers, that sort of thing. And but this being so open-ended leaves it left for interpretation, to include many other things in the future, including just having a trigger job done on your 9-pound Glock, or having a trigger job done on your AR-15, or putting a lighter trigger, or anything that could cause that firearm to be fired quicker. So a reset adjustment, so many different things, and it could, eventually be interpreted by somebody who is anti-gun to include semi-automatics and lever actions, because that changes the rate of fire. If the rate of fire is set at a certain number, that number can be adjusted at any time. And if they set it at, bolt action is, the standard rate of fire, and now you have a semi-automatic, that semi-automatic has just adjusted the rate of fire, and so now semi-automatics can be outlawed. Not having to, or having a 30-round magazine could be considered adjusting the rate of fire, because they're not having to change magazines out, and so that could be adjusted in there as part of the rate of fire. So it's very broad and not specific at all, and we need to fight this. So I'll leave a link to that petition down below in the description box, and also call your congressmen, senators, and make sure that this stops in committee. We also need to push our congressmen and senators for the Sportsman's Act, as well as national reciprocity. Problem is, I don't see that going anywhere right now, but we need to continue on. We cannot sit back, and we need to make sure that we are holding the NRA accountable as well. We can't sit back and let those guys do what they think is politically expedient. We have to continue to fight for this, that it's not the tool's fault, it's the person behind the tool. You'll never solve the problem by getting rid of the tool. You'll just create a new tool for the same problem. So anyway, guys, that's this video is kind of long. like I said, I'll put that information down below. Go sign the petition, get a hold of your congressmen and senators, make sure that we get this squashed before it gets out of committee. So with that, guys, please like, subscribe, leave me your comments, and share this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.